It's finally here. Inside of this box is the 2021 edition of HeroQuest, HeroQuest Keller's Keep, and HeroQuest Return of the Witch Lord. I have original copies of all three of these games, so I can do a one-to-one comparison out of every component that's in the box. But first, the unboxing. First thing I want to point out is this is not a very lightweight box, which might be obvious. It's probably not as heavy as, say, Madara or Gloomhaven, but there are 3 games in here, so... yes. Beautiful. Boxception. Inside this box, no, wait, I already did that. Cardboard. Oh, sugoi. So. And what a lovely little box. It is exactly the same size box, and the artwork has been faithfully recreated. It looks awesome. I love the old artwork, but the new artwork looks really nice too, and that box looks really classy. Can the heroes rescue the king in time? And it looks like the description is a little bit different, but it looks like it's going to come with absolutely everything the old one did. It looks like the iron and wooden doors are going to be plastic models instead of cardboard. Again, same size box. This is the Return of the Witch Lord quest pack. Again, the description's a little bit different. It looks like everything has been faithfully recreated and is included. From the 16 detailed miniatures to the cardboard tile sheet and the quest book. I see 2 more boxes in here, but I'm going to pull out the obvious one first. Oh, this is not a small box.
That is a thick box.
So the form factor of the new HeroQuest box is different than the old one. I think this is going to be a lot sturdier. These boxes, if you collect a lot of these old board games, they tend to get stacked on top of each other and they weigh down and they crush certain parts. These stack a lot better if you're into stacking. We have new artwork on the side. Well, it's actually just a blow up of what's going on over here. I'm excited. All right, the last box that's in here does not have. Oh. Okay, so this is what we got as Mythic Tier backers. This is what people on eBay are trying to scalp right now. But this will contain 4 hero miniatures. That's the gender bent versions of the heroes. 18 monster miniatures. Those are the extra monsters we get. Plus a couple exclusives like Joe Manganiello's Dragon. 6 white combat dice, 14 game cards, 4 character cards, cardboard game tiles, 3 quest books, and the heroic contents. 5 miniatures and 4 cards. The 5 miniatures are our 4 new heroes and Sir Ragnar, and 4 character cards that go with them. This is like having 3 more expansions, but we'll open that in a bit. The back of the box is very, very different. Before I open this, I want to say thank you very much to Hasbro and Avalon Hill for reprinting this awesome game. It's my favorite board game of all time, and I was very excited to see the crowdfund. So thank you guys for taking the effort to reprint it. The first thing we see is sort of sleeved miniature holder. Ooh. There's all of our miniatures. Love it. So this is going to come with the base game when this goes retail, whenever that is. All this stuff. These are recreations of all of the original figurines.
Stinky. Very plasticky.
Strong plastic smell. I was unsure how good these were going to look because what we were shown were 3D models on the backer page, but these look great. They're a little bendy. They're made with whatever the plastic is that's not going to break, but has more of a bend to it. Just to give you a size comparison.
We got more realism with the newer ones.
Yeah, they are more realistic. They're still a little bit of a cartoony style, so I appreciate that. The new skeleton looks more threatening, for sure. I don't like the round base, that's just my personal preference. We have female and male skeletons. Don't worry about it. So we have our old goblin and our new goblin. This is one of the females. She's really charming. Like, I was worried that they were going to lose their charm, and this isn't quite the same, but she looks better than 99% of goblin figurines that I've seen. A male to male comparison.
They made them taller.
They're a little taller.
Got long legs now.
The orcs are... I prefer the old orcs any day, but these new orcs are fine.
What, you don't like that everything looks like a Warcraft orc anymore?
A comparison of the female orc to the classic Games Workshop orc. She's really cool. I would play as this character.
Well, too bad you can't do that.
Yes, I can. So this is the Chaos Warrior. This is what he was replaced with. This is a Dread Warrior. All references to Chaos have been removed because that's still Games Workshop property being used in Warhammer 40k, and because they're jerks. So this guy has got like a face on his armor, a face on his shield. His helmet still looks really iconic and cool. I like him. I like the Chaos Warriors a lot. This guy's a worthy replacement.
He looks threatening.
Yeah, when he comes on the board, you're going to groan all the same.
He's tall. Everybody's taller. Now we get to play with Zora instead of Cyclops.
This is the old Games Workshop Famir. That's how I always have said it. And this is the new replacement, since this guy is proprietary to Games Workshop. This is the, what are they called? Abominations. They look a lot like Sahagin from various games. They're fish people, but they're going to be fine. This guy's fine. Your very first quest in HeroQuest has you going into the lair of Varag, the gargoyle, to take him out. So everybody has seen Varag and the gargoyle that is used in subsequent quests. This guy looks really cool, but this is one of those cases where, like, I definitely can prefer and see the preference of the old one. He's cool, he's going to get used, but here's the charm, and here's what was lost. Still, I don't want to undermine the hard work that went into making this. I
think he's badass.
He's got an animal head, really long ears, spiked sword, axe instead of a whip, and then his wings look really, really great and threatening. He's got spikes on his wings. Alright, enough of that. A one-to-one of the heroes. My wizard is painted.
You're welcome.
They retain their pose. The new heroes are a bit taller. They've got a different scale to them. They have a different style.
I like that they put the moon that was on his shirt onto his staff as well. My
version of the elf, she came a little bit bent on her stand, so I'm going to have to correct that, unfortunately. But here's the old elf and the new elf. The new elf is female, with the gender bent version of that character being in the Mythic Tier box.
Oh, I like that they gave her a cape.
Yeah, I love her cape. She's just as adventurous as any elf, and actually, as far as minis go, she looks pretty great. I mean, I've seen a lot of elf minis. A one-to-one of the barbarian.
He's strong.
He is strong, he's tall. His base has some decoration. He's in his classic sword-ready pose. Definitely has the same feel. He's Conan. The barbarian, basically. And now the best part about HeroQuest, the dwarf. I think fans of the dwarf will not be disappointed. His axe is powerful. His stance is threatening.
He's got a bigger beard.
He has a bigger beard, but all in all, this guy is going to make sure that all of your trapped rooms are disarmed by smashing his axe into every trap he comes across.
Ooh.
Now, I prefer the old Chaos Sorcerer, but the new Dread Sorcerer actually has the bit of that Saturday morning cartoon vibe to him. Just a little bit different generation of Saturday morning cartoon. The old Dread Sorcerer looks like he could punch you. The new one looks like he is purely threatening because he can command an army of orcs and goblins and mummies and such. So this is what we've pulled out so far. I'm going to take a look at some of the other contents in the HeroQuest box. The dice, still 3 skull, 2 shield, 1 black. They'll do. They don't have the rounded edges. You know, they're dice. They're dice. All right. What do we have here? It is part 2 of the weird sleeved contents, and it is the furniture and all of the addendum comparison of furniture. You don't have to worry about these doors wearing out anytime ever. They are solid. They are single piece. They feel like they were molded, injection molded. I don't think this was printed. I really feel like this was injection because it feels heavy. It does not feel hollow at all. It's as if it was made with 100% infill. The closed door, same case. Now these do not open. They don't have hinges or anything. You're simply meant to replace them with the open door after you open them in the game. The new version of the game comes with the rats. They don't have pegs. I think that you're meant to glue them on to the furniture, but it's nice to have them. The new tables, very sturdy. My table was not built square, so it's a little rickety. Treasure chest. Unfortunately, they do not open, but they look really cool with the monster lock on the front. They are very detailed. I'm happy with these treasure chests. Cupboard, and here's where we point out that the cupboard and the bookshelf do not have holes on them for the skulls and the rats, so that kind of supports my idea that they need to be glued on. There might be something in the instruction manual for this. This is very heavy. Bookshelf, I love having a plastic 3D bookshelf. It's very detailed, very heavy. Again, not going anywhere. This will outlive you. Bookshelf with rat. The skulls, for whatever reason, come on a sprue. So if you missed the feeling of pulling your plastic pieces off of a sprue, you can do that. In addition to human skulls or human-like skulls, there seem to be monster skulls as well. Interesting. The weapons rack. The weapons rack. You can almost not tell which is which. They are very, very similar. But this is the new weapons rack. All of the plastic has a very good bendability to it. It's a little malleable. It springs back to its original position. So this is very unlike the old plastic, which is not bendy. It's a lot more rigid, and that leads to a lot of broken parts when you're looking for spares and the like on eBay. And it's a good thing too. That leads me to my next point, the sorcerer's table with the book. The candlesticks for this always get broke because of how people set these in the boxes. These candlesticks are not really any shorter, except for the left one by design. Although these minis were designed to be stored in their tray sideways. Again, very hard, very heavy plastic. The throne. My throne actually has a couple of defects, unfortunately. The detail in the throne is great. Unfortunately, the very back was malformed and quality control did not catch it. So something to be aware of when you're ordering or looking at scalpers selling any of this stuff. There's still a chance that you could get some defective pieces. Now, this is not a big deal. I might choose to try to repair that in the future if it bothers me enough, but right now it kind of looks like it's a rickety throne by design, so I'll just take it for what it is and leave it alone for now. The alchemist's workbench has been faithfully recreated in great detail. This time the scales are not removable. That's okay. I glued my scales to my workbench a long time ago. The tomb. This time, instead of showing the face of the warrior, he has been completely covered. This new tomb has feature. It opens up. I guess the old tomb does too, if you're brave enough. I mean, the torture rack. The new torture rack looks awesome. It looks a lot more functional. Unfortunately, again, a bit of a defect with mine. It was molded off kilter. One side's a little bit crooked. It's not a big deal. Just something to note, something to look out for. And finally, the fireplace. The new fireplace is noticeably heavy and chunky, but the detail in it is awesome. They didn't have to give us all of those awesome looking molded bricks, but they did anyway, and we're better for it. The character sheets, this just looks like a brand new stack of the exact same character sheet that you get with the original. It's a good thing too because I was running low. There wouldn't be HeroQuest without all of these beautifully illustrated cards to help supplement our gameplay, so let's look at all these. We've got our treasure cards, our dread spells for Zargon to use. This stack of cards is turn order instructions and also the player character stats. They replaced the larger cardboard cards, unfortunately. I actually really liked those. Our artifact cards. Oh, and the art was made in the style of the old 90s art, so I really appreciate that. We have our air spells. We have our monster stat cards, water spells, fire spells, and earth spells. And we have equipment cards. So we have cards that represent all of the equipment that our heroes can carry. No longer do you have to just write down what you have. You'll actually be able to purchase these items from the store and you'll have a card to represent what it is your hero actually has equipped, or consumables that you purchase from the store. All right, now we're going to look at the HeroQuest board, the inside of the box, and the quest book. One more observation about this box, the heroes all seem to be congregated together except for the wizard who is next to the two orc ladies. So yeah, wizard knows what's going on. At Moment of Truth, we have what is presumably the game board, the cardboard tiles, excellent, and Zargon's screen, and then we just have a cardboard spacer, so that's really nice. I think that we could take this out, put all of our stuff back in, and maybe come up with a way to keep the models out of their black plastic trappings so that they're a little bit easier to take out. The old screen, the new screen. The new screen is a little bit glossier. The old screen behind, the new screen behind. Pretty much one-to-one, pretty much the exact same. Old HeroQuest board, which unfolds out in half, and the new HeroQuest board, which actually unfolds quartered. The HeroQuest logo is in a different place, and you will have this split due to the quarter fold nature of the board. The tiles are actually bigger, so they're going to accommodate all of your figures and furniture and everything without any problems. We finally got a slightly larger HeroQuest board that's actually official. Colors look great. All of the colors in the old rooms and all the themes of the tiles are matched here. Rooms where you have blood stains, cracked marble flooring, and rocks recreated from the original. Bones. And the old board only has about 3/4 inch squares, while the new board has a full inch, so you have lots of room to accommodate your figurines. The old HeroQuest comes with the armory, which is inside of the box. It comes with a list of all of the weapons that you can purchase in between quests, as well as an identification guide that lists the contents of the game as far as furniture and tiles go. While the new edition has the equipment cards with the prices listed directly on the card, and the identification guide probably is a list of contents contained in one of the manuals. The tiles that can be punched out of the cardboard here are significantly larger to accommodate the new board tile size. Everything is familiar except some of the tiles now have new backsides. The spiral staircase now has a straight down variant. Behind the double wide tiles that represent blockage, we have these grates, and who knows what they might represent in the game, or if they are just a new flavor of hallway blockage. Here we have a mysterious new double-sided tile, and this is the other side of that tile. The old quest book, the new quest book, the old instruction booklet, the new rule book. Mine's got a bit of imprinting from the cardboard, and it's a little bit bent. I can't help but think that this looks just like Papyrus from Undertale. Before we get into anything else, let's just look at the quest books and compare those as well. The old quest book, the description for the first quest, the trial, and the corresponding map. The quest description for the trial in the new book, and the corresponding map. From the dialogue and flavor text to the actual mechanics and descriptions of each level to the map, everything seems identical. Well done, Avalon Hill. Now to compare the new 2021 version of Keller's Keep with the classic version of the quest pack. first time opening the new version, so let's dig in. I did want to take a moment here and say it is my opinion that both of these expansions will definitely be available in retail at a later time. Please do not pay scalpers for these expansions alone. And the unpunched tiles, while updated in look just slightly, are pretty much identical. From the sets of stairs to the Dwarven Forge, to the trapped doors, and even the rolling ball tile. I won't lie, I wish we had gotten a 3D model of the rolling ball, but a tile is fine. For the models, we get basically a 1-to-1 copy of every single green model that comes with the base game of HeroQuest, but we also get the wooden door and the iron door. The old Keller's Keep and Return of the Witchlord come with the iron and wooden doors, but they are cardboard, meant to fit into the plastic door bases that come with your base HeroQuest game. These new models look fantastic. The Alchemist's shop is included here and has the same items at the same prices with the same effects. And just like the base game, great care was taken to ensure that the flavor text, the dialogue, and the mechanics and the map of the expansion quests are identical to those in the classic version. And we'll stop here to avoid spoilers. While there is an artifact reference on the final page of each quest book, you have separate artifact cards, so you don't have to go cutting into the last page of your quest book with the new version of the game, thankfully. And now to take a look at and compare Return of the Witchlord. Looks like we lose our iconic blue/purple, depending on your territory, color for the expansion quest book. The cardstock for the new tiles is so much thicker and so much better than the old thin tiles that we got with the older expansions. The gang's all here. We have the chamber where the Witchlord sits, we have the rotating room, and we have the tombs that you can search in this expansion. And you get the same white monsters from the base game, mummy, skeleton, and zombie, so you can have hordes of undead for the scenarios in this expansion. Another iron door, another wooden door. Just like in the Keller's Keep expansion, we have our artifact cards that are unique to this expansion, making their appearance for the first time, and we have equipment cards to represent the new items that you can buy at the shop in between quests. The same great care was taken to make sure the integrity was kept intact for these very difficult quests. All of your dialogue, flavor text, rules, mechanics, and maps are intact as you remember them. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am AmalgamAsh, and today I am going to be looking at my copy, my very glossy copy, of HeroQuest. This is the box that contains the Mythic contents. These are the contents that are available to the Mythic Tier backers. Now, there's tons of videos about this sort of thing already, but I wanted to do one of my own, and so that's what I'm going to do. So thank you, if you're watching this, very much for supporting me and my style of doing things. So the first thing that you see when you open the box is our tiles, and I wanted to reference back to the video I made doing all the comparisons. Actually, I might put this in the same video. I'll probably do that and make this a separate video, so if you're seeing double, that's why. Our tiles on the new HeroQuest board are a proper 1 inch, as opposed to the just less than 1 inch, more close to 3/4 of an inch tiles of the old classic HeroQuest board. So our tiles are going to reflect that. They're going to be they're going to reflect a lot because they're reflecting my ring lights, and everything is printed. Everything is printed on glossy stock. Everything that comes with this game is glossy. It kind of drives me nuts. But anyways, we have lots of tiles that will be proprietary to our quests that we have gotten with our Mythic Tier. And don't worry, don't you worry at all. Those of you who didn't get the Mythic Tier stuff, do not worry. Do not pay exorbitant scalper prices on eBay for the quest content, please. Because I'm more than confident, I am more than confident that the contents of the Mythic Tier quests, the descriptions, the rules, the maps, will show up in places. Now, back to the video. We have this amazing tavern tile, complete with all of your tables, chairs, your keg of alcohol, your desk. I really, really like that. It's the first of its kind for me. I've never seen a tile like that for a HeroQuest board, not basic HeroQuest. On the other side, everything's double-sided. So on the other side, we have these sort of vine entrapments, maybe, acid bath, maybe. And then I'm not sure what these are. They're the same on both sides. They're skulls with like some sort of, I wonder if I can, there we go. That didn't help at all. Some sort of glowing green laser beam that's about to fire out of their mouth and kill all of your heroes. Sounds like a good time. Here, we have a large room with a green pool and what looks to be I'm not sure really, maybe just a pedestal. And perhaps that is what our dragon is going to sit on. For this, my friends, comes with all you see here. There's a number of miniatures, there are some quest books, there are additional dice, there are cards, and we're going to look at all of this stuff, you and I, together right now. So the first thing that I want to look at is the monsters. So while the campaign for HeroQuest 2021 was being crowdfunded by Hasbro Pulse, they gave us different tiers that would give us additional content if those tiers were met. And a lot of them were like 2 extra monsters, 4 extra monsters. And while it's always great to have extra monster figurines, it's like, big deal, whatever. No, it is a big deal because these monsters are different than the ones that come with the base game. This is one of the extra goblins, one of the extra skeletons. He is awesome. His shield, the armor hanging off of him, he commands terror. The stand-in for the Chaos Warrior, the Dread Warrior, these guys are pretty amazing. This one in particular, while very, very similar in design to the other Dread Warriors from the base game, is in a more dynamic pose. The mummies are female, the extra mummies, and comment withheld. The orcs here are wielding giant warhammers. This one's just a little bit bent, mayhap. The orcs in classic HeroQuest give me a feeling of more meat for the grinder. Go! Stomp them all into submission. The orcs in the new HeroQuest make me think I'm going to be crying in a corner very soon. We get a new Dread Sorcerer, and this one looks very feminine to me. It's got a bit of a wideness in the hip. So we've got a gender bent Dread Sorcerer. We have a second sculpt for the gargoyle, and if I do say so myself, I think I would like to use this one over the base game sculpt. There's something about his animalistic bat-like head and his hooves that really give me more of a gargoyle feel than that hellish demon spawn from the base game. The zombies are notably female, and then we have the Witch Lord, who looks amazing. I'm overusing that word for sure, but he really is awesome, and I'm super appreciative to have this guy in our loadout. And finally, we have Manganello's dragon. The dragon sculpt is the largest of all the HeroQuest figurines. It is the heaviest, it uses the most plastic, obviously, and it is really, really badass. This is a serious dragon on top of a monument. He is very ready to strike out and destroy anybody looking for his treasure or who even looks at him funny. This was the $4 million tier right here. This and the accompanying quest book. $4 million dragon right here. The abominations in the Mythic Tier package are very threatening as well. Here they are just lunging. They're just coming at you. And they look angry and mean and nasty. Alright, that's it for the monsters, but you all know that there's a lot more that comes in this box. So I want to look at the heroic contents. The 5 additional miniatures and 4 character cards that we get. These came separately boxed for some reason. In this box are the gender-bent versions of the heroes. So you have a female wizard. She actually looks really nice. The male version of the elf comes in this box because by default the female comes with the new edition of the base game. The female barbarian is not to be trifled with, and she looks every bit as amazing as our male barbarian. The female dwarf rounds out our representation of the heroes, and then fan favorite Sir Ragnar is represented by his own figurine this time around. Sir Ragnar is an NPC that has his own set of stats for at least one of the missions. I can only guess that he's going to play a little bit more of a part in this new edition with its additional missions. Maybe. We can only hope. Now, the plastic that all of these miniatures set in is very rigid, but I've seen this kind of plastic used before in games that are really old. Over time, pulling these figures out, putting them back in, pulling them out, putting them back in, it's not gonna shape differently. It's probably just gonna weaken and eventually break. If your game is gonna be hitting the table a lot, I recommend taking all of the miniatures out and storing them in a separate place for ease of accessibility. We're going to take a look at the quest books in just a moment, but first I want to look at the new heroes and their cards. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. I've been very excited about these new heroes. They break conventions, they subvert expectations, and they look amazing. So first we have another variant of the wizard. I think this one is really supposed to more represent mentor. Mentor being the person that gives the heroes their flavor texts when introducing the dungeons. He looks really, really great. I would love to use this figurine in any campaign, any game in which I would play a wizard. Besides the character card, he doesn't have any other special abilities or anything, so I really do think he's just a stand-in for the wizard, or perhaps his own just NPC. And now these three characters I've looked forward to for a long time. We have the druid. The druid comes with her own spell cards. Like the wizard, the druid does roll 1 attack dice and 2 defense dice, but her body and mind points are actually switched up. She's a little bit more resilient with 6 body points and a little less wise with only 4 mind points. And the druid spells are Life Force. This spell may be cast on any one hero, including yourself. Its magical power immediately restores up to 4 lost body points. So a healing spell. Pixie. This spell conjures up a pixie who does one of the following: restore up to 2 body points that have been lost, or Search. The pixie reveals all traps and secret doors in any location you can see. Finally, a utility spell that the druid can use over and over again if the right conditions are met, and I was excited to see this mechanic and share it. This is Shapeshift. Shapeshift grants you 1 defend dice and 1 extra attack dice when attacking a monster that you are adjacent to. The spell is broken when the hero suffers 1 body point of damage, but regain this spell when your body points return to their starting number. So if you get healed, you can use Shapeshift again, or if you use a potion of vitality, or if you use a potion of healing. I'm definitely going to be playing the druid and trying her out. If you know me, you know that I love bards. I don't necessarily love orcs, but this guy is too wholesome to ignore. He is a bardic orc. Be honest with me, how many times have you played a bard orc? The bard has 2 attack dice, 2 defend dice, and has 5 body points with 4 mind points. He actually starts with a rapier. Like the druid, Bard has his own set of 3 spells. First, there's Healing Song. You and all the heroes that you see restore up to 2 lost body points each, a great area of effect healing. Then we have Lullaby. This spell puts one enemy into a deep sleep. So, just like the sleep spell, the spell can be broken on a future turn or at once if the enemy rolls a red die for each of their mind points, and if they roll a 6, they can wake up. You can't use it against the undead. And now for a spell that the Bard can use over and over if the conditions are met, Inspiring Tale. This spell can be cast on any one hero, excluding yourself. The next time that hero attacks, they may roll 1 extra combat die. You regain this spell when any hero you can see, excluding yourself, rolls defend dice that result in 2 white shields. So anytime you are in a room with the Bard and another hero, and that other hero rolls 2 defend dice, you regain this spell. That's awesome. And it's just a way to use the Bard and make sure that you're always traveling with the heroes and looking at the feats of daring do that they perform. I'll definitely be playtesting the Bard. The next is my personal favorite out of this whole set. It is the Warlock. She is adorable. She is a halfling, and here she is to scale. Even her character art, which I'm sure is meant to be threatening, just looks too damn cute. I definitely want to playtest the Warlock. She's got 2 attack and defend dice, 4 body points, and 5 mind points, so she's a force to be reckoned with. And like the other new characters, she has her own set of spells. Dark Wings. The character art on this one, I just want to point this out, that is awesome. I love it. Cast this spell on an enemy's turn after you have suffered damage. So as soon as she gets attacked, you can cast this spell, reduce that damage to 0, and move instantly to any unoccupied square you can see. Already turning out to be a great character. Then we have Fear. Again, awesome artwork, I love it. This spell causes any one monster to become so fearful that their attacks are reduced to 1 combat die. The spell can be broken on a future turn. If a 6 is rolled, the spell is broken. So this spell currently does exist in HeroQuest, but it is tailored to be part of the Warlock's loadout. And just like the other new heroes, the Warlock has a spell that they can use repeatedly if the conditions are met. Demon Form. And here I thought she couldn't get any more adorable. The Warlock ignores pit traps and may roll 1 extra combat die each time they attack until the spell is broken. The spell is broken when the hero suffers 1 body point of damage. Regain the spell when you reduce a monster's body points to 0. So this is our glass cannon tank, sort of. She can kill a monster, become this demon form, roam around the board wrecking stuff, and then if she gets hurt, use demon wings to float away, reduce the damage, and if you manage to kill a monster, immediately become a demon again. Just a terror, just an absolute terror. All right, those are the characters. I love them all. I'm very happy with these loadouts, and I'm going to be playtesting them on this channel and on the other channel very soon, and I'll be introducing that channel very shortly here. The Mythic Tier contents come with 3 quest books, and again, I just want to state, just to repeat and stress, please do not worry about the confidentiality of these quest books. I am, again, more than certain they will show up. We have the Spirit Queen's Torment by Teos Abadia. Again, very, very glossy. Let's switch cameras. So just like the Witch Lord and Keller's Keep expansions, we have an Alchemist's Shop, and it looks like this is the expansion that makes use of the Bard Hero. Players may choose to play the Bard Hero for this quest book. If no one is playing the Bard Hero and a hero dies, place the Bard Hero in the room with the dead hero. The player of the dead hero now controls the Bard Hero and can immediately pick up any items held by the fallen hero. The appearance of the Bard Hero in this way may only happen once during this quest series. So, as you can see, the Bard does not necessarily replace any of the classic HeroQuest characters in HeroQuest. Even if you have more than one of the Barbarian or Elf, and also presumably Wizard or Dwarf characters, there can still only be one of each type per game in the quest makeup, and that is a rule stated in either of the quest packs for the Elf and Barbarian, because they come with a female Elf and female Barbarian. I'm talking about the old quest packs. The Elf quest pack or Mage of the Mirror, it has rules that state, you can choose the female Elf, but they have the same stats, and you may not have more than one Elf per party. And the same goes for the female Barbarian from the Frozen Horror. So we get some flavor text to begin the quest, and then we can begin the quest, The Ruins of Wyvern Keep, ground floor. And here's just a glance of the map from The Ruins of Wyvern Keep. There are 14 quests in this book, and there is a handy artifact reference on the last page. We'll go over the contents of this quest book in a future episode. I don't want to spoil anything here. Now let's take a look at the Prophecy of Telor. This quest book is by Stephen Baker. Again, we have the Alchemist's Shop. The first quest of Prophecy of Telor is actually the return to Mellar's Maze, which is pretty cool because Mellar's Maze is a quest from the base game. Somebody might think, oh, that's kind of lazy. Well, I think it's really cool to bring back locations and add in additional text and give them a new twist, new context. Mellar's Maze is also a quest from the original base game, but here we do use the expansion rules where we place a door at the edge of the board to represent the exit. So there is a bit of recontextualizing going on there. And this quest book contains 13 quests. Finally, we have the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, an aptly named quest book by Joe Manganiello. Again, we have the Alchemist's Shop, as well as some notes on playing the quests, and just something to point out here, that the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness uses tiles and miniatures from the Keller's Keep and Return of the Witchlord quest packs, a description of the Grasping Vines traps, the Dread Skulls, interesting, and the Acid Pool traps. It looks like the temple and the tavern are part of this. Because I love the look of those tiles, it's at this point I have to say thank you to my fellow backers of this Hasbro Pulse product, because without you guys getting the tiers close to $4 million, we wouldn't have had this quest book. And you get to use the new tavern tile right away. Quest 1 is called the Rat and Candle Tavern. Quest number 10 is called the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. What a surprise. And it ends there. So we have 10 quests in this campaign. I'm going to be repeating this in a couple of other videos, I'm sure, but these are the Mythic Tier rewards, and I have seen scalpers on eBay already trying to charge $500, $700. They're definitely putting value on this set of product, and I think that there's merit in doing that. Raising the price a little bit for what you get, whatever, demand, supply, blah blah, it costs whatever people are willing to pay. But I just hate scalper culture. I don't think it's fair at all that somebody bought 2 copies just to sell one away for a ridiculous price. I know that they're exclusives. I know you get rewarded as a backer for being able to do that, but not everybody has that circumstance where they can back that. I was very, very fortunate this time around to back this, and I honestly, even if I didn't have the money to, I would have done it anyway. I would have gone into debt and I would have taken out a loan, something. But important to note, this stuff was supposed to be for backers only, in my opinion, and in my opinion only, with absolutely no evidence, but maybe a little bit of precedent to give you some hope if you'd like. The contents of this box, the gender bent heroes, I think that those will probably come with future expansions. And even if they're not the exact same sculpts, I fully believe that the Frozen Horror expansion, which is all but confirmed at this point, will come with the female barbarian. So if you still want these female figurines and the male elf for more representation of playable characters, I don't see this being the only way to get them. I don't see this being locked away forever. As for the quest books, again, these are things that are going to show up very likely on certain websites through no fault of my own, and I think that it's great that if they do get shared. I realize there's probably a gray area there, but so many of the HeroQuest quests are shared right now from the old Games Workshop stuff, and it's only fair that we have some sort of reference to be able to play these quests in sort of a homebrew form. I love my little halfling Warlock. She was almost worth the entire price of the backed project. And that's it. I plan on getting into this stuff, playing this stuff in the future. And I do have to definitely share the channel on which I will be playing these games with other people. So please keep an eye out for that. It's coming very soon. As always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you really enjoyed this video. This is the style in which I like to do things for now. If you have any suggestions on changing that up, I'm all ears, and I would love to take a look at playtesting these guys. I do want to do a lot more HeroQuest related things on this channel, not necessarily play the game, but maybe do some play testing and sharing some of the lore that I come across. So just keep that in mind, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye for now.